Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, boss. Yes, it's
Okay. So yesterday we covered few terminologies in cybersecurity and information security. Along with that, we have covered what is the cyber kill chain or cyber attack kill chain. Today we will start a MITRE attack framework. So what is MITRE attack framework? So MITRE attack framework basically is a matrix that provides tactics and techniques which are used by the threat hunters, red teamers, and defenders. So it is more comprehensive than the cyber kill chain. So in cyber kill chain, we basically categorize into 7 steps, the broader level 7 steps. But in MITRE attack framework, what we do is we categorize into tactics and the techniques. So there is a matrix that we have, and every tactic is having multiple techniques through which the attack can be detected. So now these tactics and the techniques these are being used by the threat actors across the entire attack life cycle. So I mean the attacker and the defender both can utilize this MITRE attack tactics and techniques matrix in order to basically identify. So attacker can use it in order to launch an attack or prepare an attack. The defender can use it in order to detect and mitigate from that particular attack. So again, it can be used by the red teams or it can be used by the blue teams, both the teams. So red team is basically the team which does the active testing or the active penetration testing on the web application or the infrastructure in order to detect whether there can be any vulnerabilities detected on the application. Blue team is like which basically analyze the logs or correlate the information uh, for the activity that has happened onto the machine. And based on that, they will decide whether there has been any attack happened on this particular machine or not, and what mitigation they can take in order to prevent it, that attack will not happen the next time.
Sir, you mean to say blue team will act after say, after the attack happens, sir? You mean to say or proactively?
So blue teams basically, so there are two parts. So one is, so blue team basically acts on the basis of logs. So let's say there is an infrastructure. In the infrastructure, there is a AV solution, EDR solution, and firewall is present. Now the logs that are being generated, right? Which firewall rule has hit, which file has been detected by the EDR in the schedule scan or a real-time scan. So all those logs are collected together and they are stored in the central server. Now the blue team have their logics written in order to basically create an incident from those logs with the severity levels. Let's say there is a file which got detected as a malicious, but the file got detected in a schedule scan. Now the schedule scan happens every week on the device. So that means there is a possibility that the file is already present from the last 1 week on the device. And it would have done a couple of things on the device, but it was not detected. It was detected in a schedule scan, not the real-time scan. So then the blue team, they basically have to analyze how did the file enter into the machine and why they were not able to detect the file at the very first place. So that is the job of the blue team. Now, this is the analysis part. Now, with this analysis, they have to take some measures. What could be the mitigation? What are the lesson learned from this analysis? So that they can implement it in their product line or in their analysis or incident creation line or a detection rule so that next time whenever similar incident is happening they can detect it proactively. So that is basically done by the blue team.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. So, sir, red team is a part of pen test team.
Yes, so red team basically you consider they are the pen test team, so they basically look or hunt for the vulnerabilities that could exist in the infrastructure or in the application. how they can break into the system to gain the unauthorized access into the system. So that is the part of red teams.
Okay, makes sense.
Mm. Okay, so this is the attack matrix. This is how it will look like. So these are the tactics such as reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, execution, persistent. This is the tactics. And in this tactic, there are techniques. So in reconnaissance, the technique is active scanning is one technique. Gathering victim host information is another technique. Gathering victim identity information is another technique. So now this attack matrix is for enterprise, and it is it could be for enterprise. It could be for the enterprise. There could be different operating systems, different cloud containers, networking, and this is also applicable for the mobile devices also, or the mobile applications as well, and for the industrial control systems as well. So these are
Sir,
the basic.
just sorry, what is sir ICS and
Yeah,
about
so
that?
ICS is basically industrial control systems. So industrial control systems is so we have the industry, right? The thermal power plants and the nuclear power
Correct.
plants, right? So in order to control those, right? In order to control those, we need some systems, such as we need to control the boiling temperature of a thermal power plant, or we need to control the we have the smoke detector, and based on the smoke detector, basically we have to trigger an alarm, right? So there are sensors being involved, and those sensors basically collect the data from the field, and they will send the data to a machine or a server where the computation has been done. So that scenario basically is the industrial control systems or ICS systems. So it is being used in thermal power plants, nuclear power plants, water generation power plants. So that is ICS.
Okay, it's sir IoT comes under this, or will that is different? IoT devices.
So IoT devices, I mean IoT devices are those basically you can consider is so ICS is a system. So ICS system basically are they're controlling the temperature of a particular let's say a boiling point or a coil, right? Now the IoT devices, what IoT devices? IoT devices is a small part of the entire system. IoT devices, what it will do is it will get installed. It will have a sensor on top of it. It will basically sense the reading from the field, and then it will have some APIs or some communication protocol through which it will transfer the data to the actual server, and the computation has happened onto the actual server. So that is IoT devices.
Correct, boss.
Here, this ICS system is a controlled system which has been put in place, which controls everything. For example, it receives the signals from the IoT devices or the various sensors, and based on that, it does the computation in its own, I mean, its own memory, and then it will take the judgment. Okay, this valve has been closed. This valve should be closed. This valve should be opened. The temperature is rising. Then we have to put more water. So all those controls are being done in the ICS system.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then we have the tactics. So these are the tactics, and reconnaissance is one, resource development is another one, initial access, execution, persistence. So reconnaissance is when basically is we try to gather the information about our target. So that is the reconnaissance. So we got our target. Now we wanted to gather some information, what our target will do, what website our target is, what is IP address, what server it is using. So that is reconnaissance. Resource development, we have already known that resource development is once we did the reconnaissance, right? So resource development means we develop our payload that we wanted to deliver to the target to make the attack successful. So that is resource development. Initial access is how can we get the initial access to the target system? So whether we can basically send a mail, whether we can put our malware into a hard drive, whether we can club our malware to an application and the system basically download that particular application. So that is known as initial access. So how initially we are trying to access into the target infrastructure. Next is execution. Once we enter into the machine, how do we execute it? So just now,
Sorry to disturb. Before going that, sir, resource development. So
Mhm.
in this phase, uh, is what type of payload is developing, sir? So is it a software level? It's required a coding for that. What exactly skills is involved here in the resource development?
Yeah, so resource development basically.
Reconnaissance, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I understand, sir. If I wrong, correct me. In the reconnaissance, we are going to use some tools and tactics. We are going to use, correct? Again,
Yeah,
maps are there for the reconnaissance.
yeah, correct.
So yeah, in similar in resource development, what exactly, sir? What exactly
So in
is
resource
involved?
development, what we will be doing is we will be generating an exploit code. Now that exploit code could be a PowerShell script, it could be a shell script, or it could be a Python script, or it could be an executable in which we have basically attached a malicious code. So what kind of code? Like for example, we created one file and we wanted to exploit a file upload vulnerability. So we created a PHP file, and that PHP file we deliver it onto the target machine or a target system. And then once our PHP file will get opened, or we basically can open that PDF file remotely because we know at what location it got saved into the machine, let's say. So then we have written the PHP code in such a way that our PHP code, when it get executed, it will basically run the command for us in the backend. So that kind of payload will come under resource development.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, so next is execution. So once we basically enter into the machine, we means the malicious payload has entered into the machine, then how that payload will get executed, right? So, for example, the payload may require a trigger from the user, that user has to open a file. Then, when the users open the file at the backend, the payload will get executed, or the malicious code will get executed. That is one way. Another way is it could be a time based. Let's say whenever a specific time happens, let's say every day is 7 a.m. Whenever that clock happens into the computer, that time our payload get executed. That is timer based. So that is known as execution. So how we are executing our payload onto the target machine. Next is persistence. So persistence basically is whenever we have executed our payload, right? Now we want that our payload execution. We don't want that our payload or our code, malicious code, will get executed only once. We want it to be persistent so that we can collect as much as information as possible. I don't want that I created one payload. Now the user's laptop is turned on. User has opened a PDF file. Then only my code is running. Once user clicks that, I mean, close that PDF file, or once user shut down the machine, then my malicious payload is not running. So I don't want that scenarios, right? I want that it should be persistent because once user turn off or shut down the laptop and then reboot the laptop, then all the components freshly loaded. So I want that my payload should get attached with those components, those critical components that will always be running. So what are those critical components? One is the UI or the GUI of the machine. So that is always running, right? Because whenever the system is on, that will be running. If I hide my malicious payload in the GUI registry, that will always run. That is one. Another one is there is other functionalities in the operating system which always run, such as the kernel will always run when the system is get powered on, or there is a startup process or a boot log on processes that will run whenever the system boots in. and they will keep on running until the system got shut down. And when the system got shut down and the system again got rebooted, then they will again run. So I wanted to hide my payload in those critical registries that is known as persistence. Next is privilege escalation. So privilege escalation means, let's say I gain access to the machine with a user privilege. Now I wanted to, with the user privilege, I can only access few files, few folders. Now I wanted to gain the privilege, or basically escalate the privilege so that I can access more confidential files. So that is tactic is known as privilege escalation. Next is defense evasion. Defense evasion means, now I entered into the machine. I want that. So the machine also has put some defense right in the target machine. They will have a firewall, they will have an antivirus, or they will have some level of security. So I have to basically bypass it in order to uh, launch my operations, or in order to gain unauthorized access to some file system, or stealing some data and then sending that data back to my actual server which is on the internet. So I have to basically evade their defense system, in this case firewall, EDR, AV solutions. So those tactics are come under defense evasion. Then we have credential access. Credential access means is, whenever we wanted to gain some credential accesses. Let's say on a machine or on a server there are 100 users. There is an AD server, there are 100 users that got authenticated on that AD server. So those AD server, those 100 users data basically present on that particular AD server, right? Their NTLM hash, their usernames. So if I wanted to access that information, the tactic will known as credential access. Next is discovery. So discovery access is, so if I wanted to basically discover or identify what are the critical files or the sensitive folders which are present in the target machine. So that is known as discovery. So what the attacker can do is, basically, uh, attacker can try to use certain approaches in order to identify what what services basically are particularly running on this particular machine, what is the version which are particularly running on that particular machine, so that they can basically identify which services are running. That is one. Second one is, they can also identify the account discovery. For example, account discovery means they can enumerate what are the local accounts present on that particular machine, what are the different groups present on that particular machine. So that will also come under discovery. They can also try to discover what are the network endpoints present on this particular machine, what are the ports which are present or open on that particular machine for the internal communication or for the external communication. So that will come under discovery. Next is lateral movement. Lateral movement means whenever one machine is compromised in the network, now from that one machine, let's say there are 100 another machines are connected in the network. Now attacker will try to literally move in the infrastructure so that he can collect as much information as possible. Because on one machine, let's say he got 10 files of information. Now on other machines, there is different kind of information is present. So he wanted to literally move in the infrastructure, in the internal network, to gain or to compromise the other machines as well. So that is known as lateral movement. Then we have collection. So collection basically is collecting of the information. So what the attacker will do is, whenever attacker basically performs any of these tactics, right? So what they will do is they will gather the data which is of their interest from those systems which they have already compromised. which means they will gather the sensitive information such as sensitive files, credential related information, some critical emails, some project files, some screenshots, some database entries or the tables. So that is known as collection. Command and control. Command and control means the attacker basically, so let's say attacker has entered into the machine and attacker basically has put one exe file, okay, that will be doing certain operations. Now attacker is sitting outside the network, right, somewhere. So there has to be some command and control which will control that particular executable, whatever code is written, right? So that executable have to send the data to the outside internet. Then only attacker will get to know, right, what is the database file, what is the emails that are present on that machine, what is the confidential file which are present on that machine. So that communication will known as command and control. That means there is a C2C uh, server or a location where attacker is controlling that particular malicious payload which is getting executed in the compromised device. Next, we have the exfiltration. Exfiltration means exfiltrating the data. So whenever attacker has collected all the data and it has connected to the command and control server, then it will exfiltrate the data. That means from the internal device, from the compromised host, attacker will exfiltrate the data to the actual server, to the actual attacker control server. So that is data exfiltration. Next, we have impact. So once this is done, right? So what is the impact? It could be data exfiltration as an impact. Sensitive data has been compromised. That is one. Or the attacker make the service completely unavailable, encrypted all the files, and those files are not at all accessible by the end user. That will become the denial of service attack. So what is the impact of this? So that will come in the impact tactics. Any questions on this part, on these tactics?
So far, so okay, sir. So, sir, what exactly in the below highlighted? Attack currently identify 188 attack techniques and then what it means.
Yeah, so this is just a number basically. So, so this is tactics, right? In these tactics, there are techniques also. So, there are currently basically 188 attack techniques, and in those techniques, there are sub techniques as well. So, there are total around, so this number has increased now, so around 400 sub techniques.
Okay.
So, just to show
What are
you,
the those techniques are where I can get information?
yeah, I'll show you. So, if you come to this website, attack.mitre.org, so this is the attack metrics for the enterprise. This is what we have covered. All these are tactics. Reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, execution, persistence, release, escalation, right? Exfiltration, impact. Every single tactic is having techniques. So this tactic, reconnaissance, is having 11 techniques. So that means with what techniques reconnaissance can be done? Reconnaissance can be done with active scanning. That means if we click over here, we are directly in a contact with our target, and then we directly scan our target, that is known as active scanning. This is one way to perform the reconnaissance, right? So it will become one technique. Similarly, another technique is gather victim host information. So if the attacker is basically gathering the information about what is the name of the system, what is the assigned IP, what is the functionality of that particular, what is the operating system, what is the language being used, that is known as gathering victim host information. Attacker is trying to follow the gathering victim host information technique. In this technique, there are four sub techniques as well. right? So it could be on the hardware, it could be on the software, it could be on the firmware, it could be on the client configurations. So like that, every tactics will have various techniques which are being mentioned over here. So that is the same, here it is mentioned, right? So 188 attack techniques and 380 sub techniques.
Got it, sir. Got it. Just what is the website, sir? Just write down, or else if you ping, that will help us.
Okay, let me
Sure.
bring this and share. Okay, I have shared it.
Thank you. Got it.
Okay, similarly for mobile, same categories are applicable, and reconnaissance and no reconnaissance and no resource development. So all other categories are similarly applicable for the mobile categories as well.
Sir,
Then
what footprinting, where it comes, sir? So, in our footprinting, we are not talking. So,
footprinting is in reconnaissance only.
okay.
So yeah, so in this footprinting and reconnaissance will club together to reconnaissance.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Then we have ICS categories, right? In ICS categories, we are also having similar what we called tactics as compared to the this one enterprise one. So initial access, execution, and all those which are on the similar part. Next is hacking. So hacking, as we know, exploiting the system vulnerability and compromising the security of an infrastructure or a system in order to gain unauthorized access. So that is hacking. Now, how we can do is we can basically modify functions, or we can modify system settings, application features in order to further achieve our goal. And the goal is to gain the unauthorized access to the system and to steal some sensitive data. So that is hacking. So the what is the traditional hacking model? So traditional hacking model basically is reconnaissance, penetration, and then control. So in reconnaissance, we basically can use OSINT, footprinting, scanning, or fingerprinting, in which we try to gather the information about the target. Penetration means we basically perform active hacking. We deliver our malware. We can use social engineering techniques. We can basically perform physical intrusions into the system. That is penetration. Control means we plant backdoors. We basically instruct zombies or we create bots, and then we cover our tracks so that we go undetected. So that is control.
Sir, could you brief about OSNT for a few more, sir? Actually, what exactly, how it works,
Yeah,
OSINT?
sure. So let me share. So OSINT basically is a framework. Let me share the website. Okay, so this is basically a framework. Let's say in OSNT framework, we select usernames, and in the usernames, we can basically have the username search engines. Let's say, so what all search engines available for the username search. So that is one. It will basically provide the list of the tools which are available for that username search. Let's say we wanted to do domain name. So in the domain name, what all we can search. So we can basically check the whois record, right? So in the whois record, we can basically get the domain. We can use various websites such as the domain dozer is one, whois is another one, in order to check the domain related information. Let's say we use whois. Let's say whois.com, and I identify, let's say, whois.com, any site, let's say google.com. Okay. So this basically is currently not available, that google.com, but there are few other domains which are available. So it is showing that information. But what we can get is there is who.is site, which is this who.is. In this site, basically we can check the exact details about the server. Okay, this is restricted. Then let's say some other domain will try perplexity.ai. No data. This domain does not exist. Okay, let's try some other domain, facebook.com. Okay, so we can basically get the information about the domain, such as whether it is a registered domain or not, when it was registered, when it was updated, what are the name servers, and what is the domain status. So that information we can get. So how we basically can check is we can use OSINT framework, what tools we can use in order to gather what level of information. So if I wanted to get IP and MAC address related information, let's say IP and MAC. Let's say I wanted to get the geolocation for a particular IP. I wanted to know this IP belongs to which country. Then we can have the MaxMind demo, right? So let's see if MaxMind is free or paid. Try for free. Okay, it is asking anyway. So just to demonstrate you, so basically we can provide one IP to MaxMind DB, and the MaxMind will tell us this IP belongs to which country. It will also tell the coordinate for this. It will also tell the ISP, and it will also tell the location as well. So I think in the free it is not telling, but once we have the subscription, right, so it will tell at which location this IP is issued, and not at the country level. In the country level, below the country level also it can go.
Sir,
So
in what is my IP will get, no, sir? This information,
yeah, what is my IP can also help you out for this information.
but that is a self. Like,
Yeah, that is so what organizations do, right? The enterprise organizations, they do not depend on what is my IP. They depend on this MaxMind DB. So MaxMind is one organization which sells its DB, and they will say, you tell me the IP and I will tell the country of this particular IP. And based on that correlation, right, the organizations build a use case, which is, let's say, you are an employee for an organization from India. Now, you logged in your account, and you logged in your account, let's say 11 a.m. from India, and at 12 p.m., which is after 1 hour, your account got logged in from Canada, right? So, this will get flagged in the events. Now, how that can happen, that is second story. There are various possible reasons. Either you have shared your credentials to a to an employee who is in Canada who access your account. That could be one possibility. Second is you might be traveling, and when you are in Canada, you basically firstly connect your laptop from your mobile hotspot where you get the Indian IP because you have an Indian SIM, and then you after 1 hour you reach to the Canada office, and then you connected to the office Wi-Fi, then you get the Canada IP. But there is an incident got created in our organization that within a very short span of time, your account got logged in from two locations which you cannot even travel in that 1 hour. So on these kind of data, right? So organization build use cases. For example, organization wanted to block any access that is coming from China, or that is any IP that is going to China, or any server that is hosted in China location. So now they don't know, right? They in the network only IP address travels. So they need a database where IP to domain name mapping exists. So who provides this? MaxMind provides this. So MaxMind says you tell me the IP, I'll tell you which country it belongs to. And if the IP belongs to China, the organization simply blocks it. And that's how they build a use case that country-specific servers cannot be accessed. So that is another use cases that they solve.
Sir, you mean to say with this MaxMind will help for someone is using a Tor browser something, which it goes. This will help you, sir, to identify that.
No, MaxMind will help the organizations to identify the geolocation of the IP address.
Correct, sir.
So,
If, somewhere I was reading, in
mhm,
case of if someone is using it Tor browser, it's
mhm.
Tor or Onion. It changes the very frequently changes the IP address and the encryption technique. So
Yeah, but you cannot
I'm not.
trace, right? The problem is the tracing. Basically, it changes. That is okay. It changes. It basically creates Tor nodes, and it changes from one country to another country. But how will you trace it? That's the problem because it changes so frequently that you can trace it to some extent, but you cannot trace it to the origin. That from exactly which origin the user has initiated the connection. So that is basically on this functionality that Tor network is built on.
Okay, so in short, that so it is not going to trace, and then at the same way, MaxMind will not going to help in that scenario.
Yeah, MaxMind will only tell you IP to country mapping. That it can tell.
Okay,
But how, let's say in Tor, first IP shown is India, right? You can't be sure that user is from India. User might be
correct.
from somewhere else also. But MaxMind can also help you that okay, this IP is seen, this IP belongs to India. Only that
Oh,
information MaxMind can help.
okay, okay. Sorry, I think you are typing something. What is my IP, sir?
Okay, yeah. So what is my IP address? Yeah, so what is my IP address? That will also tell you the information such as to which country this IP belongs to. And basically it tells us the state and the city as well. So this is yeah, another use case you can use.
Sir, but it is too different, sir. There was a, when you check in other browser, it is different IP as came. Here is different IP as came.
Which one? 1 minute. No, other
So
browser
in the
was not.
MaxMind, in
Yeah,
the
other
MaxMind, you
browser.
showed as different. Yeah.
Other browser was not my IP. It was just a demo IP. If you open it, you will also get the same page. That was just a screenshot attached in MaxMind, right?
Oh,
So
correct.
MaxMind
Okay.
is paid. So 1 minute, I think system got hanged. Yeah, so in MaxMind, when we opened that page, right, so that was just a pictorial view or a image view. This is how the data will look like. But we haven't searched anything there. In what is my IP, it basically automatically tells what is my IP and it tells the location and all. So that's why we are seeing two different IPs.
Okay. Okay.
Give me 1 minute. I think this Chrome is little hanging. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone is having?
Sir, it's my opinion. Before going further classes, if you share this document, that will help because we don't have any reference to see. Even though taking a screenshot, that is not helping. Some are missing. We are missing.
Okay, okay, okay. I'll talk to our team where we can upload this document and I'll get it uploaded.
Yes, sir. Yesterday I also struggled to just to see the Zoom link of class, and today I also spent like 40 minutes to just to get the class Zoom link. So hardly I get today. So can you tell the team because nobody is responding actually? Since yesterday I keep asking for the Zoom link, for the recording, for the material.
Okay, okay. I'll check with the team. Allow me some time. After this class, I'll check with them and probably with by tomorrow I'll sort it out. So for Zoom link, I think you can help, right? Dhananjay, right? So there is an application where they need to go, right?
Correct, correct, sir, correct. The problem with Kasif is saying that he don't have enrolled there also. There is a it is a platform
They
called the
didn't
OTT.
enroll me. Although my charges, everything is cleared, but they didn't enroll me.
Oh, your account is not yet enrolled. Okay. So I think that part accounting can only sort it out, which I believe. So
So I texted like four people, nobody respond since yesterday.
okay. Uh,
But Kasif, just to with my experience, if you send that mail, they're going to respond. There is a support or some
Which email?
uh, email. Okay, 1 minute. I'll able to help you. Support at the rate nwkings.com.
Yeah, okay, okay, fine.
So my experience, if you send the mail, they're responding. As such, I'm not faced any issue with that. But it may delay for sometime day or 2 days. They're fixing.
Yeah, but yesterday I missed the class, and today also I just joined like maybe like 10 minutes ago. No.
Okay, so
Sir, I pinged that ott.nw.com, so I think it is reflects to you only. That's from there I'm logging in.
okay, ott.nwkings.com. Yeah, so I mean, you guys can try. I think I may not have the access to this, but yeah, you guys can try, and I think from there you can check if you get the Zoom link for the everyday meeting. Okay, so there is one WhatsApp group we just now created. I'll share that WhatsApp group here. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, I think so that can help all our problems, sir.
Okay.
So that if anything link required, so people can share, and then if you want to something delay in a class also, that will help, or cancel the class, all those things will help, because that such close communication will fix this problem.
Hmm. Okay, so I have shared a link, a WhatsApp group link, so you guys can join there, and yeah, you can discuss your problems over there. It will help.
And where we can see the recording of these classes. Because today I missed, I just want to see what we studied today.
1 minute. So in your app, you don't get the recording option, you don't get any mail that recording is available for this class. I am checking with the team. Okay. So I'll let you know where you can see the recording. I have put a note to them uh, how the recording can be accessed. So once I'll get the update, I'll update you.
Okay.
Okay, for class recordings, you can connect with Gaurav. So I pinged in the WhatsApp group. He should be able to help you out on the class recordings. Mm, okay, any other questions? Here you can see the recordings. I think someone has already pasted replayclass.com. So yeah, we can try this option out. Okay, so next is who is hacker? So hacker could be an intelligent person who is having excellent computer and networking skills, and he's exploring the system or the network. So that could be an hacker. Or hacker could also be a hobbyistic testing. Hobbyistic person who has a hobby of testing vulnerabilities of the systems or the networks. He could also be a cyber criminal, or he could also be a someone who is attempting in order to gain knowledge for legal or illegal purposes. So anyone with these intentions or with these motives could be a hacker. So now there are various types of hackers based on their actions. So one is black hat. Black hat means the hacker who performs malicious activities, or we can say it a cyber criminal for malicious intent. So that is black hat. Next is gray hat. Gray hat means who performs good or bad activities, but he does not have the permission of the organization to whom they are hacking. So let's say there is an hacker who is hacking abc.com. He has not taken the permission from abc.com, and now he can hack for the good purposes also. Good purpose means he hack it and then he report it to that organization. Okay, hey, this is a vulnerability exist in your uh, module. You have to fix it out, or else he can basically gain personal access and then can steal some data for the personal use as well. So both the motives can be present for that particular hacker. That hacker is known as the gray hat. Next, we have a white hack or ethical hacker who basically uses their skills in order to improve the security. Then we have script kiddie. Script kiddie, we can say that they are unskilled individuals who basically does not have knowledge, but what they do is they basically got some or create some small programs in order to attack the systems. So those are script kiddies. Next is state-sponsored hackers. So state-sponsored hackers basically are the hackers group, we can say, which are hired by the government in order to perform attack on other government or on any high-profile targets. So those are state-sponsored hackers. Then we have activists. Activists are basically which who hacks the system for a cause or a political agenda. So those are activists. Then we have suicide hackers. Suicide hackers means the hackers who are not afraid of going jail or facing any sort of punishments. They just hack it to get the job done. So those are suicide hackers. Then we have cyber terrorists. So cyber terrorists are those who are highly motivated by any religious or political beliefs to create fear or disruption in the society. That is cyber terrorist. This is just an image view. How does black hat, white hat, and gray hat will look like? So black hat is having a black hat, gray hat is having a gray hat, white hat is having a white hat. Script kiddies, these are like kids basically. Un, those are not skilled professionals. Those are just unskilled professionals having very little knowledge. State-sponsored hackers basically, those are funded by the government. Activist basically is those are having the political agenda in order to perform an attack. Uh, any questions on this part? Hackers types and hackers classes.
Sir, when you talk about that, there is a red hat. Those things was not there here, sir. It will not be there. So here,
Which
black
one?
hat is there, gray hat, red hat. Uh, so there is no red hat team, sir.
No, there is no red hat hacker, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so this
So
is hacker types or
okay,
hacker classes.
teams are different. There is a red hat team was there. which it is there earlier in the blue hat and red hat we discussed in the earlier slide, correct? Blue team
Yeah,
and red team, sir.
blue team. Yeah, those are teams. So this is hacker classes.
Okay.
So hacker classes are different. I mean, those are not blue hat. Those are red team or blue team
Correct,
hat.
boss, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is different. Yeah. Okay. Let's wind up till now for today. Tomorrow we'll go through some other terminologies from this module, and then we'll try to wrap it up tomorrow. And yeah, then we'll start our reconnaissance and information gathering module.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, sir.
sure then. Yeah, please go through this, and if you have any questions, you can ask tomorrow. We'll go over it. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a good day.